AWS has over 200 services, and the console is a paralyzing wall of cryptic names. But here's what senior architects actually know. You only ever use about 20, and those 20 fall into just 5 jobs: compute, where your code runs; storage and databases, where your data lives; networking, how requests reach you; security and operations, that's the whole map. In the next 9 minutes, you'll get the one-line answer for each of the 20, what it is and exactly when to use it, and then we'll trace one real request through all of them so they click into a single working system. No fluff. Let's start with compute. Group 1, compute. This is simply where your code runs. There are 5 services and they trade control for convenience. EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, is a raw virtual server. Maximum control, you manage the whole machine. It's the classic default. Lambda is the opposite end. Serverless. You upload just a function, no server to manage. It runs on demand and you pay per request. Perfect for event-driven tasks. In the middle sit containers. ECS, Elastic Container Service, runs your Docker containers, the AWS native simpler option. EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, is managed Kubernetes for teams that need that power and portability. And tying it together, auto-scaling. It automatically adds servers when traffic spikes and removes them when it's quiet, so you pay for what you need and nothing more. The architect's rule of thumb: Lambda for small event-driven pieces, containers on ECS for most apps, and EC2 when you truly need full control of the machine. Group 2, where your data lives, and this splits into storage and databases. Start with storage, 3 services. S3, Simple Storage Service, holds files as objects, images, uploads, backups, practically infinite and dirt cheap. It's the default for any file. EBS, Elastic Block Store, is a virtual hard drive you attach to an EC2 server, the disk your operating system and apps run on. EFS, Elastic File System, is a shared file system that many servers can mount at once. Now databases, 3 more. RDS, Relational Database Service, is managed SQL, Postgres or MySQL run for you with backups and patching handled. This is your default database. DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database, serverless, and it scales to massive traffic with single-digit millisecond latency. And ElastiCache is managed Redis or Memcached, an in-memory cache that serves your hottest data in microseconds. The pattern: S3 for files, RDS for structured data, DynamoDB when you need extreme scale, and ElastiCache in front of it all for speed. Group 3, networking and delivery, how requests actually reach your app quickly and safely. 4 services. The VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, is your own private network inside AWS. Everything you run lives inside it, isolated, and you control exactly what can talk to what. Your database, for example, should never be publicly reachable. Only your app inside the VPC can touch it. Route 53 is DNS. It maps your domain name, like TaskFlow.com, to the right place in AWS. The ELB, Elastic Load Balancer, sits in front of your servers and spreads incoming traffic across them and quietly skips any server that's unhealthy. And CloudFront is the CDN, the Content Delivery Network. It caches your content in data centers around the world, so a user in Tokyo is served from Tokyo, not from Virginia. Put them together and the path is clear. Route 53 finds you, CloudFront speeds you up, the load balancer spreads the traffic, and the VPC keeps the whole thing private and secure. Groups 4 and 5, security and operations. The stuff beginners skip and seniors never do. Security is 3 services. IAM, Identity and Access Management, controls who can do what. The golden rule is least privilege. Give every user and service the minimum permissions it needs and nothing more. KMS, Key Management Service, handles encryption keys, so your data is encrypted at rest and you control the keys. And Secrets Manager stores your passwords, API keys, and tokens securely, so they're never hard-coded in your app. Then Operations, 2 services that keep you sane. CloudWatch is your eyes, metrics, logs, and alarms, so you can see your system's health and get paged the moment something breaks. And CloudFormation is infrastructure as code, AWS's native version. You define your entire setup in a template file and CloudFormation builds it exactly and repeatably. No more clicking through the console by hand. Security keeps you safe. Operations keep you informed. Neither is optional in production. Now the architect part. Let's watch all 20 click together. Follow one request through TaskFlow, our task manager, running on AWS. A user types taskflow.com. Route 53 resolves the name and points them at CloudFront, which serves the static front end fast from a nearby edge location. API calls hit the load balancer, which spreads them across our app containers running on ECS, and auto-scaling adds more containers if traffic spikes. All of this lives inside our VPC, safely isolated. When the app needs data, it queries RDS, our managed Postgres, and checks ElastiCache for anything cached. When a user uploads a file, it goes to S3, not the server's disk. The app's permissions come from an IAM role, its database password from Secrets Manager, and everything is encrypted with KMS. CloudWatch watches it all, ready to alert us, and the entire stack, every service we just named, is defined once in CloudFormation and built with a single command. That is how a senior architect sees AWS, not 200 services, but a handful of well-chosen tools working together. Let's lock in the takeaways. First, you don't need 200 services, you need about 20, grouped into 5 jobs: compute, data, networking, security, and operations. Compute, EC2, Lambda, ECS, EKS, and auto scaling. Data, S3, EBS, and EFS for storage, RDS, DynamoDB, and ElastiCache for databases. Networking, VPC, Route 53, the load balancer, and CloudFront. Security, IAM, KMS, and Secrets Manager, and operations, CloudWatch and CloudFormation. Second, the senior mindset. Understand each service's one job. Start with the simple default EC2, RDS, S3, and only reach for the fancy option when you actually need it. Third, security and observability are not afterthoughts. Least privilege, encrypted secrets, and monitoring from day one. Learn these 20 and how they connect, and you can architect almost any system on AWS. If this made AWS finally click, subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from. See you in the next one.